Hi guys, and welcome back for another video. This is kind of a tribute to one of the main characters of the Cars movie. This is a tribute to Doc Hudson. He was in Cars 1, but not in Cars 2. The only mention of him in Cars 2 was a museum in his honor in the town of Radiator Springs, because for those of you who don't know, the character voice for Doc Hudson was none other than Paul Newman, a famous actor, and he was also an entrepreneur and a race car driver and a philanthropist, which meant he gave a lot of his money away when he earned it. So this video is kind of a tribute to how we got to know Doc Hudson throughout the video Cars, and see where it goes. And remember the first time we saw Doc Hudson in the movie, the day after Lightning McQueen got arrested by sheriff for tearing up the town. They were in the courthouse waiting for the judge. And in comes this judge. I wanted who tore up my town. I'm going to throw him in jail for the rest of his life. And I'm going to throw away the key. And Doc Hudson comes to the courtroom, goes up on his pulpit. He turns around and looks, and what does he see? Lightning McQueen, a race car driver. Let him loose, let him go. I don't want him in my town. Just let him go. And Lightning McQueen said to Mater, wow, you work fast, because Mater was Lightning's lawyer for some reason. Next thing you know, Sally showed up. Hang on there, Doc. This guy tore up the town, she said. He should at least fix it. He can tow Bessie, because a race car driver has all the horsepower you need to tow Bessie. And finally Doc said, okay, you got to fix up the town, and we'll make sure you don't escape. The next time we see Doc, Lightning McQueen is towing Bessie, and he hates it because he's getting full of tar, and he hates doing that because he wants to be in California for the big race. So Doc Hudson showed up and said, I'll make a bet with you. I'll race you at Willie's Butte, and if you win, you can go home, right to California. If I win, I'll pave the town myself. So Lightning said, well, no problem, old timer, that's an easy one. The whole town thinks Doc is crazy. He's an old car. No one thinks he goes very fast at all. But Doc has a secret. And they get ready to race. Guido counts down the race, and off they go. Except Doc doesn't move when the race starts. So he turns to Mater and says, hey Mater, got your hook? He said, yeah, I always do. Follow me, says Doc. Doc was right. There was Lightning, stuck in a pile of, well, it was cactuses in the movie, but in here I only have Thomas the Train trees. And Doc turns to Lightning. You drive as good as you fix roads. Terrible, he said. The problem was, Lightning McQueen is a street car racer. He's not used to racing on dirt, and he had no idea how to turn on the dirt, because Willie's Butte is all sand, and he had no idea which way to turn when the car started sliding. So Doc Hudson came up to him and said, son, sometimes in order to turn left, you have to turn right. Oh yeah, old timer, that makes sense. Go left to go right. It wasn't long after that that Lightning discovered that Doc Hudson was actually the Hudson Hornet. And he had all his gear in his garage. Red wheels, old Piston Cup trophies. And one afternoon they couldn't find Doc. So Lightning went out to watch what was going on. And here was Doc Hudson with his red wheels on. And he took off around the track at Willie's Butte. And Lightning thought Doc was going to crash because he's going so fast. But when the turn came at the end, Doc knew what to do. His car was sliding sideways, but he turned his wheels to the right, and he made it around the turn. Lightning learned a lot that day. Nearing the end of the movie, everyone in town got to like Lightning McQueen because he fixed the road, and everyone had a new sense of pride in their town. They got everything all fixed up in town. The streets were paved, the fences were painted, and everyone was really happy. This was when the people looking for Lightning McQueen suddenly found him and surrounded him, and he had to leave. So he got into the back of Mac's transport truck, and off they went to California. So when Lightning had left, and all the cars and reporters were leaving, one reporter went up to Doc and said, are you Doc Hudson? He said, yeah. She said, thanks for the call, and drove away. But what Doc didn't know was Sally was right across the road, and she heard the whole thing. And she said, "You called them?" He said, "Yes, I did, Sally. It was best for everyone." And she turned, "Best for everyone or best for you?" And all the lights went out in town, and Doc went home by himself really sad because he figured he'd let the town down. But in fact, it was the best thing he did, because Lightning finally was able to have his big race against the King and Chick Hicks, and he was doing really well. And he looked behind him, and who was over at his pit stop but all his friends from Radiator Springs, including Doc Hudson in all his glory. The crowd went crazy when they saw Doc Hudson, all dressed up with his old stickers on. And Lightning McQueen's pit crew were there, including Luigi and Guido. Guido changed Lightning's tires in record time, and even though he didn't win the race, he helped save poor King. But at the end of the movie, Doc Hudson and Lightning McQueen were best friends, and they were out always at Willie's Butte practicing making those turns in the dirt and having a great time together. And that's how, when the movie ended, they were still good friends. And when Cars 2 started, between the time 1 and 2, Paul Newman had passed, and they didn't want to revive his character without with his name, so they just made a museum in honor of Doc Hudson. Well, guys, I hope you liked this little bit of tribute to Doc. We all liked him, and we missed him. And please subscribe to my videos and share it with your friends. Thanks very much for watching, and have a great day.